Well, good morning everyone and welcome to Amsterdam. Joining myself, Tom Styles, and on the camera and the buttons is Mike Palmer from Sky magazine. We are watching the first pool game. Well, it's a Swiss draw game. It's the first round game between Poland mixed and the team from Colombia, the European collective of Colombian players. They call themselves 2600. And that refers to the height above sea level that Bogota is based when they're back in Colombia. So most of the players in red and the Colombian team over to our right are based in Europe, but they're all hail with Colombian origins and suitably hard to pronounce Colombian names as well, so I'll give it my best shot. Colombia versus Poland, never a commentator's favourite. If you are with us this morning, do drop us a tweet. Hashtag Windmill 2016 is the thing we're following, if you want to hit us up on that. And the Polish national team, quite excited to be here. A lot of the teams at this tournament using this as a warm-up for the World Championships in London, not too far away now. And the Polish mixed team, no different. They are ready to go in London, and they're using this as their final preparation. Not a particularly warm morning out here in the Dutch capital. Not the Dutch capital, is it? It's the big city in Holland, but it's not the Dutch capital. Get some facts straight in a minute. I'd say it's probably 13 degrees, 14 degrees, overcast, a bit murky, but very little in the way of wind. And the first game we've seen this morning has been fast and flowing. This is our first broadcast. And wherever you're watching, if you are watching, do let us know how it is from a technical point of view. Is it clear? Are there any problems with the sound or the pictures? Sometimes you have a better view of that sort of thing than we do. And we appreciate your feedback. As always, Twitter is the easiest way to get in touch with us, using the hashtag Windmill 2016. We've got 65 people watching us already. Just watching the Poland throw the disc around on the line. Poland are going to be in the Frisbee news a lot over the next couple of years. They're hosting the World Junior Championships in Wrocław. They hosted EUCF in the same city last year, and they're also hosting the World Games, and they've qualified for World Games as well. So, well, obviously they qualified for World Games because they're hosting it. So they are going to be playing some very, very key games, and a lot of the players here are using this as a warm-up for Worlds and a warm-up for World Games in 2017. You see our Colombian team in the yellow shirts. And the captain, Geno, or one of the big players, Geno, pulls the disc across to Poland, straight away into the hands of the 27 shirt of Wojciech. Quickly moving the disc up the pitch to Luke, who sends it deep. It's going to be caught short of the end zone. Nice flip straight away. Poland showing some class and movement there. Long disc from Tobizovic down the pitch, and a quick 1-2 from the Polish ladies, and that's the score. Myself and my co-commentator David Price is finding a way to get in here. Is that going to cause you problems, Mike? So we're just going to rearrange ourselves while so we can get a space for everybody. Myself, David, and our cameraman Mike. Good morning, everyone, once again. This is Tom Styles, and I'm joined in the commentary box, fresh from his first game of the day, Mr. David Price.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Tom. I see we've got the Polish mixed nationals and a team that I can never say the name of, so are we calling them 2600?
We can call them 2600 or 2600.
Yes.
2600. I've been practicing that all morning, I still forget. And they've got the disc at the moment with Flo. Flo to Regina. Regina looking down the line, finds a nice disc and caught one-handed. Flowing, moving the disc well now. Miguel across the pitch, but into nobody particularly, and that goes to ground. Turnover. These Colombian players, mainly based in Europe now, but coming together for this particular tournament and a few other European tournaments as well. 22 on the far side is Macho. And across to Graznia. 22 is Macho again. Flowing beautifully down the line to Philip. Philip into the middle. Backhand beautifully timed, and the cuts are coming nicely for Poland. They don't seem to be under any pressure from the Colombians. Reset. And a knife across the end zone into so much space. The Polish offense flowing beautifully, managing to find huge gaps in this Colombian defense.
Yeah, it looked just from that, straight away from that turn, the Poles were able to keep the disc, and they were trusting both their men and their women, which is good to see in the first point of a mixed tournament. I'd expect to see a lot of flow from this Polish team, with the likes of Luke Zabajewicz, who we know very well from the UK Ultimate scene.
Yeah, I think it's one of those the key factors in a good mixed side is the ability to use both genders fully. Quite often find that that's the difference. If you've got a strong women line in your mixed side, and they can dominate their counterparts, that's the ticket to a strong victory. So your first Windmill experience, David?
This is actually my third Windmill experience. I've been to the last 3 in a row now. First time with Tooting Tigers Bowling Club, which was quite fun. Had a few pickups, and then the last 2 with Fire. So it's been great fun. It's an awesome tournament. Is it your first time, Tom?
It is, yeah. I've been watching this from afar for a long while, so it's great to be out here. And I've been so impressed by the scale of the thing and the friendliness of the thing and the number of volunteers that are so enthused about the whole event and the tournament itself. It's quite an atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely, and it's almost like an ultimate festival. I think that's how they like to spin it, and it definitely feels like that. But now I think we're going to keep saying it, 2600 and now on offense.
And they start nicely out of the box with Jono. Down to Flo, and they've come against the zone straight away. And going to be a bit on that, but not quite. Just gets his hand up in time, and it's across the other side of the pitch, but not a good choice. Across the middle of the pitch, picked off by the Poles, and they've quickly started moving. It's going to be a big disc long into masses of space, chased down by Thomas. He's got acres of time and loads of room on that pitch just to pick it out of the sky and make a very quick turn and burn for Poland.
Yeah, it was very easy there for Poland. Once they applied the pressure with the zone, a man free, streaking in the end zone. I think this Colombian pickup team are going to struggle with the number of players they've got as well. It's very short-lined compared to probably double the amount of players on the Polish team.
And a timeout's been called as well, so they're needing to regroup already.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Being 3-0 down, it's a hard start for the Colombians.
So one of the things that marks Windmill out for those people who've never seen or heard about this tournament before is the format they use for the tournament. So they do a couple of things here which you will have probably never seen before if you've never played at Windmill. And the first thing is they crowdsource their seedings, so they have a prediction competition online beforehand. Which allows everybody who's coming to have a guess at where they think all the teams are going to be predicted. Now, I entered the prediction competition innocently thinking that it was just that, a prediction competition, but I then found out that actually they use that for their initial seedings. And then they go into what's called a Swiss draw format, which, as far as I understand it, means that everybody plays the first round, and it's pretty much going to be fairly one-sided games. So the way the first round is the first team plays against the 21st team, the second team plays against the 22nd team, third team against the 23rd, etc., all the way down. So they should be fairly one-sided games, assuming that crowdsourced seeding was fairly accurate. And then depending on your result from that first game, you get a number of points, and that's based on the points difference between the two sides. So if you take your first game, David, as an example, what was the score there?
The score was 15-10, and I think we're
5 score. So your next game should be against somebody else who's got +5 or similar score. Yeah,
that's right. And then from there onwards, that system continues. So you then accrue more points as you get more difference. But then I think there's another calculation about where you've come from and where you're going to. So there's a whole other, like how you're seeded basically. It changes the way that you accrue points.
So the Colombians back in charge again. And let's see if they can make a little bit more progress with the disc this time. And lots of pressure from the Poles, running them down, making sure there's Regina making a great cut again. We've seen her strong female for the Colombians. And good flow across the pitch, managing to make some space now, but again a mistake. An unforced error from the Colombians forces a turnover. The Poles have it again. Oh, lovely float. That is a great disc. Oh, it was perfection. Slight misread by the Colombians gave the Poles a chance to grab it, but tipped off the top of her hands and no score.
As our Irish friend would say, a bit of a feathery flick there into the end zone, and bobbling straight out of the hands of the receiver. I thought the Poles had that there. You can see the cohesion they've got as a team, but back in the hands of the Colombians, see if they can get one on the board.
There was no hesitation in that flick. He knew exactly what he was going to put up and exactly who he was aiming it at. Lots of confidence in the receivers here. It's good. So disc to Regina is a turnover again. Poles been gifted the disc so many times in this game already. They're already 3-0 up. And you wonder how many points the Colombians are going to accrue during this game. Number 16 for Poland. Definitely not Paulina. But anyway, the disc goes across the end zone and it's scored. Another great point. Dissecting the pitch. Landed in safely in the hands of Filip for the Polish mixed team, and they extend their lead. 4-0 is the score.
The Poles just seem able to break the force pretty much at will. I mean, straight from that assist there, they're on one side of the pitch, they're forced away from the camera, and that bladey disc goes up, and there's just a man free streaking into the goal. I mean, I feel like if the Colombians want to break down this offense a bit more, they need to step up their forces and stop those breaks from happening, and that'll start to slow the Poles down, as well as their legs, which are obviously going to help them out in this game, particularly being 4-0 down already. But they just need to get a bit of confidence, I feel. It's the first game. I mean, everyone has a few jitters in their first game. Just get that disc moving.
The format does lend itself to the first game being a bit of a one-sided affair, doesn't it?
Yeah, it tends to mean. I mean, it tends to mean that as we go on through the tournament, you'll be playing teams of a similar standard, you'd hope. So yeah, this might be very one-sided at the beginning, but their next game will be much tighter and much more fairly contested, I'd say.
Unfortunately for the Colombians, we won't be filming that one. This is their probably one shot at televisual glory. And Sky Magazine bringing you 9 games this weekend. Myself and David Price hoping to be alongside each other for most of those. I think David's got a few games that he might miss because he's playing. But we'll have Ravi with me if that's the case. And again, we see the zone set up from Poland, causing pressure on the Colombians, but they managed to make a quick 1-2 reset. Finding space through the cup now, that's nice. Space on the far side as well. And they've managed to swing it all the way across, but the Poles still very close to them. And that disc across the pitch, a bit slow, but decided not to chase it down. Space in the end zone, it could be a bid. There's not going to be a bid, it was enough. Just gave them a little bit too much space in the end zone, and the Colombians capitalised their first point on the board. A nice hammer to the 85 shirt of Tony.
Yeah, that was well worked by the Colombians. They found a few holes in the middle of the cup and took on that lovely option at the end there. If they'd actually split that deep that deep player with another girl on the other side, and that allowed for that space. But yeah, well played by the Colombians, taking what they're given. That's the only way they're going to score, I feel, in this game, by just taking on exactly what the Poles give them.
Poles just maybe not giving them quite enough respect deep there.
Yeah, I think so. They'd clamped down on the zone, which was great, but further downfield they were probably being a bit more lazy and allowing people to get away from them a little bit.
I think it's one of the things you see in mixed ultimate quite a lot is a single male deep player with two female players in the end zone, and there's a little bit of how much respect do these female players get, and how quick is the big man in the middle. We're seeing Gamia is not on the pitch. She has to run on with the 21 shirt. Have you ever been to South America, David? Have you ever been to Bogota?
I've never been to Colombia, but I have a few friends who played, like Diego, who came and played for Tooting 1 year. He's from Colombia. And I think there's a guy on the far right with the disc, is it Alejandro? Yeah, he played in London for a couple of years as well. So there's a few Colombians that come over. I've personally only ever been to Brazil and Argentina.
So Poland makes first time before we see their O-line come out. And managing to flow nicely down the pitch, looking at a deep option. Oh, why is he not taking it? Oh, he's taking it the second time round. It's so open, so clear. Acres of time and space to catch that disc. Poles making this look relatively simple. Lucas with the big disc and in the end zone to catch it. She hasn't got a number on the front of her shirt. One of the Polish ladies there, making it look very simple.
Yeah, I think that was another lack of numbers problem. The zone was good to start, but they had no sideline, which meant they had no idea of the player sneaking their way around the back there. And she was entirely free. Gave it a fake and got the disc to her. Nice goal.
Yeah, so 2600 is the name of this Colombian team. It refers to the height above sea level that the Bogota is, where some of them hail from. 2,600 metres closest to the stars.
Yeah, I played them once at Monkey Foo, actually. It was a good bunch of players, very well spirited. I'm sure they'll have a great time here at Windmill. So this is Sky Magazine, bringing you 9 games from Windmill tournament. I think the next round we'll be showing is I want to say women's game, and then the last game of today will be an open game. All on this pitch here, stadium pitch at Windmill tournament 2016.
So if you want to tweet us, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know where you're watching. Get yourself a shout out. Early doors, we'll probably read up any text messages we get sent. We'll pretty much read out. So send us something. Hashtag Windmill 2016 is the one to watch. And Colombia now to Regina. Nice high grab from her, double-handed. And flip across from number 5, Ali. And into the safe hands on the far side of the pitch, pivoting now. It's Flo. The disc from Flo to Alain was under a lot of pressure from the outstretched 16 shirt of Camille. And a drop in the end zone into the chest, onto the floor. And Flo, with the error, gifts the disc once more to the Poles, who really don't need any help in this game. 5-1 is the score at the moment.
Yeah, I think he was thinking about throwing it before he caught it. It just bounced straight off his chest. And he looks absolutely surprised by it, but I think he was probably not focusing on what he had to do first, which was to catch it. And he's given Poland a short field.
Swing across, the cuts go, but nothing is going to get picked off. First time, very static in the middle, just waiting. They've obviously got some nominated cutters. That is a beautiful disc. Nice cut from the number 5, which is Johanna. I'm not even going to try the second names here, if that's okay. But yes, Johanna with the, it wasn't an inside out, but it was a break force around her mark and into that break side of the field.
Supposedly she's the girlfriend of the team manager, but is in the team because of her skills, and we saw that just then. A wonderful break, just a little bit of patience, and the stack was just onto the open side and giving the break side up. Very well taken by the Poles.
Yeah, they were in no hurry to score that there, were they? They just a reset into the middle, got working through a play, obviously got a game plan in mind and executed it nicely in the end. 6-1 is the score. If you've just tuned in, welcome along. Wherever you are in the world, you're listening to Tom Styles, and Mr. David Price joins me alongside. Our pressing the buttons is Mr. Mike Palmer, legend of Skied coverage from around the world. And we have Mr. David Pickon on the camera. It's a sort of a who's who of ultimate video coverage up here in the Windmill video booth this morning. The disc has flowed out. These two pitches very, very close together here in the main arena. It's a rugby stadium normally. You might see the two big posts at either end. They're very well protected at the bottom, but they are also quite close to the back of the line. Which I wouldn't want to be colliding into one of those, regardless of how protected they are. Anyway, that's the way things are. Jono with the disc, and beyond the outstretched diving hand of Philippe. So number 4 is Juan. Another turnover to the Poles. Can they further extend their lead? It's Cesare. And he has to go down to the ground to try and get that disc off. It's a high stall count as well. Jono, halfway line now. And a foot block from the Poles. And a little bit of a chat. What was your view of that, David?
Yeah, I think he might have got him just before he released it. But, I mean, it's very hard to tell from here. They've had a little discussion, though. It looks like they agree it was a foul.
That's coming in on 0. And Colombians maintaining possession. Nice, fast cut, but he's going to go for the deep option instead. And a block beautifully read in the middle of the pitch with a 21 shirt of Casey. Just poached off the middle of the stack, saw the disc was going to go deep, managed to get her hand way up into the sky to pick that off and just knock it out of bounds. Poles once again. Nice swing to the reset. The 3 guys anchoring the back of the line, and a big disc goes up, running down, and just red just turned underneath it, but it was the disc was short. It got caught up, and the Colombians have got it again. Another mistake, and this time a triple mac to get that onto the ground. Catchy D's. And coming for the Poles again. Picks up the number 36 shirt of Matos. And Cesare on the edge of the end zone. He's got options into the end zone and takes them, and it's so easy when they make it look that nice. The Poles cutting off the back of the stack, getting away from the man and scoring with ease.
Yeah, once they got there, the Poles were very smooth, but there was a bit of complacency in the middle there. They had a disc on this near sideline, and they struggled to reset. I mean, if they really want to get ready for Worlds, they need to get rid of those mistakes and make sure they've always got themselves set up in their dump position, got their resets going, because better teams than the team they're playing here are going to take advantage of that in a more positive manner. So.
How hard is it when you are, clearly in the ascendancy, you're clearly a better team than the opposition? How hard is it to maintain your focus and keep putting the points away and be clinical about it?
I couldn't claim to always be on that team, but but the times I've played against a team that I know and we're already beating by a lot, it's very difficult. You have to. I've always played on teams which we've struggled to play up, and we tend to play down, and it means that you allow them to get back in, and silly mistakes happen, and complacency occurs. But I think it's as much a mental game as it is a physical one. You've got to keep your legs running, you've got to keep yourself moving, as well as think, okay, do the right thing at the right time, do the system that we're meant to be doing at that time. So, yeah, it's very difficult. And of course, you still want to enjoy it and not feel like a dick as well. You don't want to be like just spanking a team because you know you're better and feel like you're arrogant about it. You want to be spirited at the same time.
So a good pull puts the Colombians on the back foot straight away in the back of their own end zone. Regina going to take that one high. Great player she's been so far, but a pick has been called. Hand signals from the players. They love a bit of muscle man action out there on the pitch. So number 15 shirt for Colombia, Regina, making first cut on a couple of occasions now. Always space for a fast-cutting, diminutive figure on any Frisbee team. Low centre of gravity, fast change of directions. There's space for all shapes and sizes, isn't there, on a Frisbee team? I like to think.
Yeah, even slow handlers.
I fill that role beautifully. I've made that my own. Adam Batchelor taught me everything I know. So, setting off again at the back of their own end zone, and this time the disc to Juan is nice, and Regina is making another cut. And Juan manages to look her off on a couple of occasions, or was it a good D from the poles? But Juan's gone deep again, and this time on the edge of the end zone, almost a Callahan for the poles. They've flown it into space, and they've made it look easy once again. The pressure from the D was enough to get the turn there.
Yeah, that was just an easy pickings. They didn't throw that reset to chest. It was a bit too low, and the D read it perfectly, and an easy goal straight away. I think that's now 8-1, and I think that's half. I'm not sure the Colombians know that. But a very one-sided affair here in the first game in the mixed division for Windmill Windmill tournament, with the Polish national team 8-1 up against Mile Sex.
So just seeing a replay, and there's the score. We've got full action replays all weekend with Mike Palmer pressing the buttons, and we'll be hoping to have some. We've got all three finals on Sunday, which I'm really looking forward to, and a couple quarter-final and 2 semi-finals on Saturday as well. So it's going to be all action all weekend. If you're watching us at work, sneaky little monitor in the top corner of your screen. That's all good. Let us know you're there, and we'll try and read out your tweets. Hashtag Windmill 2016 is the way to get hold of us. Mention the fact that you're watching the video. We'll be keen to read out your message and let you know that we've heard you, and it's great to see live Ultimate being streamed around the world. The other thing you can do if you are watching is put a message on your Facebook or your WhatsApp or any group chat that you've got with your club. Just let people know that there's live Ultimate on the television, on the computer, wherever you're watching it, on your phone right now. That people want to tune in and go and watch, because I know you can watch this game afterwards, and I'm sure a few people will, but it's always great to be able to watch it live, to be able to see what's going on in Amsterdam right now, what myself and David and Mike are able to witness and capture some of the atmosphere. We've got some messages coming in already. So Patrick Forcampery has just sent us a message. Great job as always, Tom and David. Shout out to the UAE mixed team in Dubai. Looking forward to WUGC 2016, and we will look forward to seeing you there as well, Patrick. Patrick, tournament director for the Dubai Beach tournament. They're doing a lot in the UAE for all the disc-based activities out there. And Robert Fruth as well says, hi, thank you Sky Magazine for your broadcast, Windmill 2016. I appreciate it, Robert. Thank you for getting in touch. If wherever you are, do send us a tweet, hashtag Windmill 2016. Back in the action now. It's Colombia with the disc, swinging it around to Jono. Across the pitch to Philippe. The disc goes down, a mistake, and then once again, the Poles have got it. 8-1, and a bit of a one-sided walkover here for the Poles. Kicking off this Swiss draw format. So the draw is made at the end of each round. All the points go into a bucket, and you get drawn out against a team with a similar points margin from the previous game. As a big disc goes up, it's going to be chased down hard. The Poles have read it, chasing it down, running it down, and into just shy of the end zone. That's not the end zone line, so she was not in. Bit of a confusing line situation down there, but she's worked it out now. And swings it back. Great reset from the Poles. Managed to get a lot of players around her quickly. And disc goes a little bit high, a little bit out of control. Flowing across the pitch, pressure, but she manages to keep her cool. Feet down, and a great point there from Katarzyna, the number 15 shirt for Poland. Do they extend their lead? 9-1 is the score.
Yeah, not much I can say really about that. It was very easy for the Poles. A few little high discs, but they've got some great receivers there, pulling them out of the air. I can't really see them faltering in the second half as of yet. I've only just started, but I hope this game finishes quickly, really, for both teams.
It's like a big squad they've got here. They're off to World Clubs this year, and then they're off to World Games next year. As host nation, they get an automatic entry into the 6-team tournament at World Games. So that's the hosts and then the top 5 teams based on the world ranking. So we imagine that'll be the USA and Canada, possibly Australia and Japan, and then maybe Great Britain. We don't know. It's there's been a small number of teams that can really qualify, because you've got to compete across all the divisions to score WFDF points to qualify. So it very much depends on how all of your international teams do at WUGC in London in order to get that World Games spot. But if Great Britain competed in the last 2, and they'd be absolutely delighted to be able to do the same again. But Poland will definitely be there. The Colombians start again. 2600 team. And they competed at the last one, didn't they? Which was held in Colombia. On the far side, into just a little bit of a low jump, manages to paint the bottom of the disc, but not grab onto it, and it's a turnover. Poles with it. Number 95 is the big figure of Cesare. Nice flick around to Matuz. And that's Bartek with 19 shirt, but a turnover, a little bit of a miscommunication in the Polish line. Boys missing out what was going on there. But pressure already being put back onto the Colombians, and the red shirts struggling to find open cuts. Now here comes one. Not a great disc though, it's going to put pressure, and just enough pressure from the Poles. And a call has been made.
Yeah, that's the second time that disc has gone up, and I'd actually favour the defence there. But if there was contact, there was contact, and I think it's going to go as uncontested. But they need to start hitting people in the chest a bit more, or at least bring that float out of the disc to make sure the Poles don't get those run-through Ds.
So Miguel with the disc now for Colombia, 2600. Just darting around, but not making a convincing cut either way. It's going to be a high disc, and just enough for Cesare to pick it off. Enough float on that. The defense giving enough opportunity. A bit of a bump, but no call. The Poles, solid disc right into the center of the pitch. Boss position now for the Poles. 10 yards out. Cesare again. Nice static stack in the middle. No options being made in the end zone. And the Polish handlers have moved the disc around the back. Colombian stepping off a little bit here, giving a little bit of space, taking away the end zone shot. The 21 shirt of Casey, and into the end zone it goes. The Poles chop up another point. They've got to 10. Colombians just doing a containing job there for a minute, but very straight up in the middle of the end zone there, the Poles.
Yeah, I think they're just scared of them getting scored on, and that's obviously going to be the case when you're that close to the end zone. But they did an okay job, actually. The Poles didn't score as quickly as I thought they might, and in fact they reset back a couple yards before they then attacked the break side. So they're not doing too bad with the numbers. My only problem is their offense is not really getting much time on the pitch. They don't know each other well enough, and their resets are quite messy, really. Hence why those big high discs are going up, and then the Poles are getting under it and getting the D. So it's a tough game for a short squad against a national team who are clearly way more practiced, but they're actually doing some good stuff as well. They're able to push them back and make them reset there, which is exactly what you want a good team to do. You want them to reset. You want them to stay on the pitch longer than they should do.
Yeah, it's a 3-day tournament here in Amsterdam, and the Polish team have bought their full Worlds lineup, hosting World Juniors in Wrocław. Terrible pronunciation. Are you any better?
We could. Last year we were playing Europeans there, and it was. Where are we? Wrocław, everything. We had everything. I apologize.
Wrocław, I think. Wrocław is the closest I've got. Colombians now 2,600, and Regina again making a great cut and flowing the disc nicely down the line to one of the number 7s, which I think is Philippe. And just manages to dink it back over the top to Maffei. Maffei up the line. Nice flow so far from 2,600. Maffei making herself available again. And a disc across, just not far enough. No inside out on that at all. Straight into the hands of Mikkel. And they've turned it over. Poland with the disc, looking down the line. Lots of space. Has he put it too far ahead? She bids. Couldn't quite get to it. The disc from the number 16 shirt of Camille, too far ahead.
Yeah, they need to make sure they're clinical here, Poland. I mean, they're getting the turns. They're Colombia. I think the Colombians started well. They had a nice bright offense, but they probably tried a bit too hard to break that force instead of taking an open around that they already had. But they've got another chance now, and Alejandro on the disc, got a deep shot going potentially, but they get it again. So the number 15.
Ajano to Maffei. Maffei to Flow down the line to Alex. Alex goes to ground, gets back up again. Into the end zone, pressure here. Regina could have gone around the back and just chased that one down, but it was over her head. Just that last yard from the Colombians, but much better at that point. They got some flow going, used both their female and male players. Maffei making herself available, and we've seen great athleticism from Alex already.
A different look here from the Polish. They've got what looks like a horizontal with an isolation in front. So they have their 3 women outfield, 3 men at the backfield, and 1 man isolated. It's almost like an indoors play with an ISO.
Looking to get that deep shot off to the lady straight away. She has got the disc, but she's 5 yards short of the end zone. Certainly wasn't on the line, but never mind. Just 1-2, nice play, great work there. Dipped the shoulder, went round the back. Great understanding from the handler, and the disc straight into her path.
Yeah, I quite like that look. It means that you've kept poachers away, because of what tends to happen, as we mentioned earlier in mixed, is that you have some pesky man poaching off the back and trying to get Ds off the girls. But here you're isolating all your girls deep, and these girls are very good in this Polish team, as you've already seen. So they're able to, once they've got the disc moving into the isolation, play off of that straight away, and there it was just a couple passes and they've scored.
No hesitation from that ISO as well. As soon as he had the disc, he knew exactly what he was going to do. One of the girls was going to go deep, or 2 of them went deep, and just put up a disc into space. Yeah,
it was. They had a game plan. It worked out, but I think there's a lot of trust in this Polish team for whoever you are, to take your role, take your responsibility, and get this goal.
we're myself, Tom Stiles, and David Price for Sky Magazine, bringing you this opening Swiss draw round match between the Polish national team and 2600, a team of European-based Colombians. A pick has been called. And Jono for Colombia. There's no continuation pass. I'm not sure if he was expecting to see one there, but nothing came. And a big disc, which has worked out quite nicely. Lands in the hands of Juan. Juan's looking downfield. He's got no options to look at, but now he does, but he's looked him off completely. And back with into 2600, still got the disc. Down to Ali. Ali throws it into the mixer, and a Polish lady comes down with it. Number 8 is ever spreading the play out to Philip. Philip sends a nice sidearm racing down the pitch. Nice bit of boxing there from the 27 shirt of Wojciech. Just held up the play, held up Juan enough to make sure he had a clear run on that disc. Beautiful work there from Wojciech. You'll see a replay of that as well.
Yeah, there we go. The disc goes up, and actually, I thought he might get a D on that, but he delayed his player enough, boxed him out enough, and the disc just sits into his path. A bit of a hat check there, but well read, well played by the Poles.
And Herbie the Elephant sprints across the screen to reveal more live ultimate action from Sky Magazine. And we've got to thank our sponsors, Secure Cyber Communications, Amsterdam-based telecommunications and internet company, who've helped us out this weekend with all the Wi-Fi. Without their sort of help, wouldn't have been able to do half the coverage that we've been able to do this weekend.
Talking about help for coverage, we've got a big tournament coming up in a couple of weeks, so we had a lot of help. So now's a good opportunity to thank everyone who contributed to the Kickstarter for WGC, where many of the people here will be working under WFDF video. So make sure you tune in. Oh wow, it's like 2 weeks away, isn't it?
Yeah, I cannot wait. Yeah. Yeah, we are. So Mike Palmer, who's over here from Australia, he's and Elliot Trotter from Sky. They're both over here for the duration now, so they're not going to go home after Windmill. They're going to stay and then come to Worlds after that. So 2600 now, the Colombians. Oh, and Alex just tripping on his own shoes. It's going to be a quick start for the Poles into the end zone. Nice and easy. The number 16 shirt of Camille just knocking it into the sky, and Philippe catches it. Yeah, we raised $83,000 for that Kickstarter campaign, and that is going to lead to some of the best ultimate coverage of some of the best ultimate I think the sport has ever seen. I'm very, very excited to be part of the commentary team there. And David, you're going to be doing the journalism for Show Game?
I'll be doing both, a mixture of the commentary with you, with everyone here, and I'm managing the journalism for the Show Game. Got a big team from all over the world, men, women, photographers, doing the newsletter, online social media. So that'll be, if you want to find out a score or talk to a player or anything like that, tweet at the Show Game or send us to Facebook or something like that, and we can have find your fans, find your family, find your friends. It's going to be an incredible week. I'm both excited and terrified.
Yeah, it's bringing together some of the best people from the best organisations that have done media coverage. Like people like Evan Lepler, Brian Jones can be there. Megan Multani is going to be there as part of the commentary line. People like Felix, who does push pass, is going to be part of the WFDF video team. Mike Palmer and Elliot Trotter. Nob Rao is taking a producer role. Tim Rockwood is the WFDF media and production lead.
Robert McLeod as well, we should mention, is the WFDF media director. he's helping out as well. It's crazy. It's gonna be crazy, and it's gonna be great fun, and I'm looking forward to that.
You could have put together a dream team. It's nice to be considered part of a dream team, isn't it? But yeah, if you could have put together a team of people that you wanted to be involved in the biggest tournament, then that is pretty close to the ideal group of people. And thank you to everybody who put their hands in their pockets, either as part of a team or individually, to contribute to that Kickstarter campaign. It was great to see the sport coming together to do something really special. We're going to have an entire outside broadcast van sitting there with all the gear, so we're going to have some fantastic equipment, some fantastic opportunities to show you some great ultimate. But right now, 2600 are playing the Polish mixed national side in this first round Swiss draw game, and Colombia have got the disc, the 2600 team. Oh, nice disc across the pitch. That's to find Philippe. And back to Jono. Jono finds Camille. Little touch from the 19 shirt of Paulina. Oh, sorry, 19 shirt of Sylvia for Poland. Gets a turnover. And Colombia have just been a little bit more assured on offense in the last couple of points.
Yeah, I think they've just keyed into what they want to do. They're just unfortunate that they're playing the Polish national team, and they're very, very fit and athletic and very good on D. But the Poles being a bit complacent, giving it straight back to the Colombians.
It's a good read and a mistaken. Not quite sure where that pick happened because everybody seemed miles free.
Yeah, I can't quite see where that is. I think it might be somewhere in the middle of the field. Yeah, you can see the girl moving there to go back to where she is to be picked from.
There's Jono for 2600. This team of... Oh, and a hand block. Blocker clock. He gets his hand down low. The 36 shirt of Matus. Turnover for Poland. And the 36 shirt of Matus has been a big player in this game so far, but he has also made a couple of errors. And we'll see centering up the handling back line here. Float over the top. That's an audacious disc. And picked out just ahead of Casey by the 83 shirt of Thomas. Now back around the back again. Matus. So 19, which is Bartek. Across the far side of the pitch, the boys doing all the work here for Colombia. Places it on the ground. And sorry, for Poland, for Thomas with the score for Poland. And they extend their lead further to 14-1.
Yeah, a bit one-sided still. Game now 1 point away from a win, Poland. But I liked how the Colombians came out in that set. They look more confident. I think like they're getting into their groove. Hopefully they can punch another one in before the end of this game.
Yeah, so see the disc going over the top there. Beautifully read in the end zone by Thomas. I think he understood what disc was expected and managed to find it. So let's say hi to Alistair Robb, who's recovering from a hangover in Scotland. He says, my voice is very soft and soothing, so I appreciate that, Rob. Thank you very much. If you do want to get in touch with us, we'd really appreciate that. It's always nice to see and hear from the people watching. The Twitter handle to use. Twitter is the best way of getting in touch with us. And the Twitter handle to use is Windmill 2016. So hashtag Windmill 2016. And we are following that, and we'll try and read out as many of the tweets as we can. Juan to Jono. Jono. And a mistake again. The tip-off at the top of the leap from the Poles getting a turnover, and the disc goes to ground. Colombians just need to settle this ship and get a single point, but they're not. I don't think they're going to do that now. I think they've missed all their opportunities, and Poland are about to finish this game off for them. Seen a couple of players on the line who were not seen so far this game, actually. Running around and getting a bit of pitch time before their next match. It might be cold at this point, because it's a long time since they finished their warm-up. There's Luke. That's probably the RO line, isn't it? He's getting some game time. Oh, disc to ground. Touch the fingers, drops to the floor. 22 shirt of Machau. Not quite connecting with that one. Big disc up into the air straight away. Regina, it's a score! There was me saying that 2600 had missed all their opportunities to put another point on the board, and they go and do it through the diminutive 15 shirt.
Commentator's luck there. I think you you jinxed yourself a little bit. No, I'm happy for the Colombians to get another point and push this Polish team a little bit further. I feel like they need a little bit more practice at the end of these games. They've been a bit complacent in the last few points. Maybe it's a bit of tiredness. First game, haven't been on, maybe cold, like you were saying. But they've been playing very well, and I'm going to be very pleased with their performance so far.
I think in a game like this, where you're scoring points, 6 or 7 passes at the most, there's an awful lot of downtime. Even for the players who are on the pitch, you're not actually doing that much running. Even when you're on D, you're getting, 45 seconds of fairly intense D, 3 or 4 passes, and there's another score, and then you're walking back, and it must be quite difficult to stay warm.
Yeah, and I feel like you don't really learn much either. Like you like you say, it's only a couple passes. You don't learn how to throw under pressure or how to break a mark under pressure, or really be pushed. So they're probably they're mentally a bit like going through the motions a bit too much as well.
So let's see if they can finish it off now. Wojciech manages to find Lucas. Lucas pivoting low, elegant looking player on the disc. He is across to the 8 shirt of Ever on the far side. Back to 27, which is Wojciech again. And Machine in the middle of the pitch. Looking at options. Colombians taking away most of the options. He's going to have to float it back. Pressure again. Manages to grab and jabs forward. Great work from the Poles, just recovering from that pressure, opening up the space. Luke rips it across the pitch. Little too casual again, exactly what you were saying, David, just not being clinical at the end of this game, not giving the Colombians enough respect. And Machine with pressure on that disc, but the Colombians with 2600 have still got it. Alex with the big disc now. Wojciech's going to be underneath that. A little bit of a bump, but no complaints from Philippe. And a turnover with Poland once again.
Yeah, I think just like we mentioned, they're being a bit too chilly right there in the red zone. I know it gets very hard to score as we get near the end zone. But they've got one more chance, I would say, to finish this game off here on offense.
They kind of want to do it. They want to see them do it as they plan to do it. Make a plan, follow the plan, score the point. But the structure they seem to have at the setup has broken down a little. Now it's with Wojciech again. Fast progress. Tobizovic sends it. Wojciech chasing that down. Bids. Oh, what a grab. What a fantastic way to end this game. Poland mixed national side showing some real quality there with the low grab. Wojciech, the number 27 shirt. And they win this one 15-2 against 2600, the team of European-based Colombians.
Yeah, a very nice finish there. Luke leading him down the line. I believe our next game on the stream will be a women's game at 3:30 local time. That'll be me and Tom. I don't know what game that'll be yet, but make sure you tune in for Sky Magazine here at Windmill 2016.
Yeah, we'll see you again at 3:30. We don't know the games until about an hour beforehand, but we will broadcast them. So watch the Sky Magazine stream, and we'll see you then.